explain you about flow controls. What is a flow control? Generally, each program will execute from top to bottom in a sequential order, right? So we can change the sequence by using these flow controls. I mean, we can change the control of a program. Flow of control. That is, we can skip some lines of a code without executing, or we can execute the same lines of a code repeatedly. So these can be done by using flow controls, and there is no limitation of using these flow controls. Like we can use these if statement any times in our program, and we can use for, we can use break. There is no limitation of using these flow controls in our program. So let us see how many types of flow controls we have. Flow controls, there are three types: selection flow controls, iterative flow controls, and transfer flow control. In the selection flow controls, we have if else, switch statements. In iterative, for, while, do while, and the transfer, break, continue, and return statements. What is this selection statement? Means we'll see each and every keyword step by step. Coming to the first selection control, if. How we will write the syntax of if? If of condition. Here we have to write any condition. If this condition is true, then only it will enter into the loop and these statements will execute. Otherwise, these statements are not going to execute. And these selection statements will execute from top to bottom only, and we cannot repeat some lines of code using these selection controls. So if the condition is true, then only the statements will execute. Otherwise, the statements are not going to execute. We'll see this if using an example. Let us go to our IDE. See, here I'm taking one class. As of now, just concentrate on a public we have to this syntax. I'm taking one class with the name even x. Now what I want to do is I want to find out whether a number is even or not. For that I want to write a program in Java language. The first step what we have to do is we have to take one class name. I'm taking the class name as even ex, and inside the class, the next step what we have to write, a public static void main string args. This is the second step we are going to write. First we have to take the class, and the next we have to write the main method. And forget about this package. I'll explain you what is this package in a next sessions. As of now, you have to concentrate only on these parts. Just class name, and in the class we have to write a main method. The main method syntax is public static void main string args. Now I want to find out whether a number is even or not. What is the logic of that to find whether a number is even or not? If a number is divided by 2, then it is an even number. If a number which is not divisible by 2, then it is an odd number, right? The same we have to put, and we have to take an integer. So I'm taking a as an 10. Now I'm writing an if condition. If that number a is divided by, I already told you that modulus gives us a reminder. A mod 2 equal to 0. Then I have to open the parenthesis, curly braces. Here I have to write system.out.println A is even. A is even number. This is the way how we have to write the program. Let us execute this. So we can see the output. A is even number. If I change A as 13. Is 13 an even number? See the execution of the program. The very first our JVM will start the execution from the main method. Our program, the first step where it will start means from the main method. This is the first step. Next it will enter into the main method. Here what is the value of A? 13. 13 mod 2. Is the remainder 0? No. Then it won't enter. This condition is false. So these statements won't execute. So these statements are not executed now in this case. So the output is nothing. Now if I change the value to 10, what happens now? Here the condition becomes true. So if the condition is true, then it will enter into the loop and it will execute these statements. So I got A is even number. This is the way how we have to use if statement. If this condition, whatever we write in this braces, if this condition is true, then only it will enter into the if loop and it will execute these statements. And the flow controls normally. Now the next selection statement is if else. So if else, if this condition is true, these set of statements, whatever the statements we have written inside these curly braces will be executed. Otherwise these statements will be executed. Means if this condition is false, the else statements will execute. If condition is true, these statements will get executed. If condition is false, these statements are going to be executed. Only one, either of if or else statements will execute, not both. Okay, let us see this with an example. So in the previous program we have written, we have print only A is an even number. Now what I want to do is, I want to print whether it is an even number or odd number. So further I am taking another program, even or odd, another class called even or odd. In the same way here I am taking one integer and saving a value as 20. So now here I am writing an if statement. If A mod 2 equal to 0, what I have to do? I have to print system dot out dot println. A is even number. If it is not an even number, what it will be next? Obviously it will be an odd number. System dot out dot println. So here A is odd number. So if this condition is true, then A is even number will be the output. If this condition is false, A is odd number will be the output. So let us execute this program. So let us see. A is even number, means 20s. Now I'm taking it as 23 and now run the program. So check in the console. So A is odd number. Now instead of printing like A is even number and A is odd number, I want to print a number directly, like 23 is even number, 20 is odd number. Like that I want to print. So further what we have to do is, we have to keep A outside. Whatever we have written inside the double quotes will treat as a string. Now what is the value of A? 23. What will be the output now? 23 is odd number. Check the console. So 23 is odd number. This is the way how we have to print the value of A. If you write A inside the double quotes, it will treat as a string. And normally it was showing us A is an even number or A is an odd number, like that. Now I'm changing the value to 220 and I'm executing this. See the console. So here 20 is an even number. This is the way how we have to write if else. If this condition is true, these set of statements will execute, else this set of statements will stand. How to write an if and have to write if else part. And now else if ladder. If we have to check multiple conditions, it is not possible to use simple if else, right? So we have to go for an else if ladder. In this else if ladder, we can check multiple conditions here. So now we'll see this else if ladder with an example. Before going to an example, check the syntax. If this condition is true, then these statements will execute. Else, if this condition is false, then it will go to the next else part. Else, if again it will check the condition. If this condition is true, then these statements will be executed. Like this, we can write any number of else if statements. And finally, we have to write else, because if these conditions are all false, by default, it will execute this else statement. There must be a default statement else. We have to write the else part at the end. So by using this else if ladder, we can write a multiple conditions. We can check multiple conditions. We'll see with an example. So to check these else if ladder, I'm going to print a marks grade. I'm going to print a grade based on our marks. So how we will write our program? So usually, what will be the grades? If we got a 70 percentile, we will get, means 70 to 100 percentage. If we got a 70 to 100 marks, then we will be in grade 1. If we got a 60 to 70, in between 60 to 70 marks, we will be in grade 2, or the 70, above 70 will be considered as distinction, and this 60 to 70 marks will be considered as first grade, and 50 to 60 will be considered as grade 2, and then 40 to 50 is considered as grade 3, and those who secured below 40 will be considered as fail. So this is a scenario we have to implement as a program. So first what we have to do, we have to take a marks. I'm taking an integer value marks as, let us assume that I got 65 marks. So you know that by seeing that, you know that 65 comes under grade 1. So but we have to write this in a program. So first condition, what we have to check, if marks should be less than or equal to 100, and again here I have to use AND, logical AND. I already explained you this in operators. So marks and greater than or equal to 70. Then which grade I'll get? System.out.println, exactly, will get a distinction. You got distinction, right? And the same way I have to write another condition. Else, if I didn't get greater than 70, I have to write another condition, right? So what is the condition? Else if marks less than or equal to, not equal to, just less than 70. You have to get less than 70, and marks should be greater than or equal to 60. Then I'll get, simply I'm copying this, I'll get, you got grade 1. Like this, I'll write another statement. So here the marks should be less than 60 and it should be greater than 50. Then I'll get grade 2. Else, another condition I have to check, right? So what is that? It should be less than 50 and it should be greater than or equal to 40. Then I'll get grade 3. Else, the last default condition. Else, you are failed. failed. I'll get this message, right? So this is the program. So first, if marks should be, it should be below 100, greater than or equal to 70. What this logical AND will do? Both the conditions must be true. Then only this statement will execute. So here the marks should be less than or 100 and the marks should be greater than or equal to 70. Then only we will get a distinction. If marks is less than 70 and greater than 69, then we will get a grade 1. You should not use equal to here. Why? Because the marks should be less than 70, means up to 69 only. If we got a 70 means we will get a distinction, right? So that's why I'm not using here equal to symbol. The marks should be less than 70 only. That means 69. Like that I wrote a multiple conditions. Now my marks is 65. First it will come and check this condition. Is marks 65 less than or equal to 100 and 65 is greater than or equal to 70. Here 65 is less than or equal to 100. Yes, this condition is true. Again it will come and check this condition. 65 greater than or equal to 70. Is that condition true? No. So this logical AND means both the conditions must be true. Otherwise it won't execute. This condition will become false. So here 65 is not greater than 70. So this condition is failed. It will go to the next condition, to the else if next condition. Here a marks is less than 70. What is the marks value? 65. 65 is less than 70. Yes, it was true. And marks is greater than 60. Is 65 greater than 60? Yes. So this statement will execute. What is the output? You got grade 1. And then will the remaining statements will execute? No. These statements won't execute. Only this part will execute and it will skip the remaining statements and it will come to the end of a main and end of the class. This is the flow control. We are telling our JVM to follow these things. So we'll see the output by running the program. So let us see. So you got grade 1. Now if suppose what happened if I give a 15. So what was the output going here? Output? Let us check. First it will check the if condition. See, is marks less than 15? 15 is less than or equal to 100. Yes, it's true. Next, is 15 greater than 70? No, this condition was false. Again it will come to the second condition. Here, if marks is less than 17, 15 is less than 17. Yes, it's correct. But 15 is not greater than 60. So this condition also false. Again, it will come here. If marks is less than 60, 15 is less than 60. Yes, but 15 is not greater than 50. Here the condition is failed. Again will come and check this condition. 15 is less than 50. Yes, correct. But 15 is not greater than 40. The condition was false. The last default statement it will execute. What is the output? You failed. So what? You failed. This is the way how we have to check the multiple conditions. If you want to write and if you want to check a multiple conditions, we can go for the else if ladder. And one more flow control option is switch. If you have a multiple options, then we can go for the switch statement. And the syntax for the switch is switch off. Here the option we have to take. Option, we can pass an integers, we can pass a characters, and we can pass enums, and we can pass strings as an option to the switch statement. And here we have to write the cases, how many cases, and the case should match these options. If this case was matched with the option, then these set of statements will be executed. If this case was matched, means this set of statements will executed. If none of these cases were matched, then the default statements will be executed. So I'll explain you this switch statement using an example. So the common program we used to do in our C is a calculator. I'll go with the same. So I'm taking a character CH, like suppose I'm passing an addition symbol as a character. Now we have to write a switch. What I'm passing a character to the switch. So now here I have to write a case. If the case is matched with the addition, then what I have to do? I have to print, and I have to take two integers, right? Int a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. So now what I'm doing? I'm printing addition. I'm doing an addition of two integers. So directly I'm writing here addition. So a plus b. So end of the statement. Here trick. So give the braces here, otherwise it won't get the correct output. Next, similarly I am writing other cases. For the subtraction I am doing, and here multiplication, multiplying the two values. Sorry. And here I am dividing it. As per that I am changing this. And the default, nothing was matched, then I have to print choose a correct option. So I'm saving the program. Now see which character I am passing to the switch. I am passing the plus. So this case was matched. This case was matched means what will be the output? System.out.println addition a plus b, 10 plus 20, what is the output? 30. So I'll get a 30, addition 30. These cases won't execute. So the control won't execute. JVM won't execute these statements. If I pass asterisk symbol, so which case was matched? First it will enter into the switch loop. It will check this character with this one. Is both are matched? No. Then it will check the second case. No, it was not matched. Then it will check the third case. Yes, it was matched. Then these statements will be executed. So now output is 10 into 20. We will get a 200. If we are passing some unknown symbol other than these four, if I am passing some question mark, what will happen? This case was not matched, this was not matched, and this was not. No case was matched here. So the default option will be printed like choose a correct option. So run the program and check the output. Choose correct option. This is the way how the switch will execute. What happens if I remove the break statement here? Suppose here I am taking plus as a character. Now I remove the break statement. What happens? This is one common interview question. what will be the output? Will we get any runtime error? Will we get any compile time error? No, here I am not getting any compile time error, or I won't get any runtime error. So the output is, it will execute both the cases until it encounters the break statement. All the cases will be executed. So what is the meaning of the break? Break means it will come out of the switch loop. After executing this case statement, this break, if we encounter the break, means it will come out of the switch loop. But here there is no break statement. So what the control will do? What is the flow of control? It will execute the next case also. So see the output. We will get both the addition and the subtraction. We will get the addition value and we will get a subtraction also. If we remove the break statement here, what will happen? We will get all the three cases as an output. So we will get addition, subtraction and multiplication. That was the importance of break and switch statement. So if we remove the break after the case, means it won't get any compile time error, or it won't generate any runtime error. Simply it will execute the next case also. So remember this. This is one important interview question. The next type of flow control is iterative flow controls. So iterative means we can repeat a cell execution of a group of statements. So how many times we want, we can repeat that. So such statements comes under this iterative, for, while and do while. In this selection we cannot repeat the execution of the same steps, but by using these iterative flow controls we can repeat the same steps of execution. So let us see how. The first flow control is for. So what is the syntax here? For. How we have to write the for? Here it has three partitions. In the first partition we have to write initialization. Then we have to write a condition here. Then we have to increment or decrement the value. And we have to open the loop. Inside the loop we have to write the statements. And we should not use a semicolon after the for statement. In Java, after completion of each statement we have to put a semicolon, right? But here for or if else we should not give a semicolon. So what will happen if we give a semicolon? I'll tell you in the end of a session. Okay. So as of now, remember that we should not give semicolon at the end of a loops. So for the first initialization, we have to do initialization, after that semicolon, then condition, then semicolon, then increment or decrement. If this condition is true, then only these statements will execute. See how the for will execute. We will see. The very first step, initialization, will takes place. The first step is initialization. Second, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then only it will go inside the loop. If this condition is true, then it will come into the for loop and it will execute these statements. At the end of the loop, again it will go back here and it will increment or decrement the value. It will incrementation or decrementation. This part will execute. After this, again it will check the condition. If this condition is true, again it will enter into the statements. Like this, the loop will be going on until the condition is false. Here see, initialization was taken place only first time. The first step is initialization. Second, it will check the condition. If this condition is true, then it will execute this group of statements which we are written inside these braces. After reaching the end of for loop, again it will go up and it will increment or decrement will takes place. After incrementation and decrementation, again it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then the statements will execute. Like this, the loop will go on. Statements, increment, condition, again statements, increment, condition. Like this, the loop will be going on until the condition is failed. Initialization will happen only once, that was the very first time. This is how for loop will execute. So we'll see how this for will execute by an example. So I'm taking one class called FurEx. The name of the class name is FurEx. Here what I have to do is, I want to print 1 to 10 numbers. I want to print 1 to 10 integer values. So I have to write. So using if or else or if else ladder, whatever it is, we cannot print, right, 1 to 10 integers. Now I want to print 1 to 10 integers. So for that we have to go for the loops, either for, while or do while. So in this example I am taking for loop. So first I told you that initialization should take place. Initialization means first here I am taking one variable. I have to print an integers from 1. Next, until 10 I should be less than or equal to 10. Then I have to increment step by step I plus plus. So this is the way, and now I want to print it. Print means obviously we'll go for the println statement. What I have to print? I have to print the integers. So I value semicolon. So this is the way how I wrote my program. So I want to print 1 to 10 the output. So we'll run the program and 6. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 to 10 numbers. Let me evaluate this program. So initially I am writing, see here, just for explaining you how this for loop is executing, I am showing here you I value, and next what we are writing, I less than or equal to 10, right? Next I plus plus. I already told you I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. So what is the initial? First I told you that this statement will execute. What is the statement? I am initializing I as 1, right? So what is the I value now? 1. Next, the second step is the condition will be checked. So what is the condition here? 1 is less than or equal to 10. If this condition is true, then what it is going to be do? It will enter into the for loop and it will execute the statements which are written in between the braces. So here the output, here we are using system.out.println. So it will show the output. What is the output here? We are printing the I value. What is the I value here? 1. So 1 will be printed. After finishing this loop, again it will go up and it will execute the increment operator. So now the I value become, so what is the I value now? It will become 2. So again it will, after checking the increment or decrement, it will check the condition. So what is that condition here? What is the I value now? 2 less than or equal to 10. So the condition is true. So the condition is true means, again what it will do? It will enter into the system.out.println of I, and again it will print the value of I. What is the value of I? 2. Again it will go and check the I plus plus. What is the value of I now? I equal to I plus 1 means I is 3. Now what is the value of I? Here 3. Again it will go and check the condition. 3 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, true. It will enter into the loop and it will print the I value. After printing the I value, again it will take a increment. Now the I value become, what is the I value now? 4. Like this, the loop will continue until I value becomes 10. And here it will come and 10 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true, right? Here once again, I less than or equal to 10. The condition is true. So what it will do? It will enter into the for loop and it will print system.out.println of I. What is the I value now? 10 will be printed. After this printing 10, again it will go and print the I plus plus. I plus plus means the value will become 11. After this 11, it will again check the condition. So 11 less than or equal to 10. Is the condition true? No, right? This condition will become false. So it will come entirely from the for loop, and the program, it will come to the end of the main and it will come to the end of a class. So this is the way how we got the output. Till 10 we are printing the output. Output is 1 to 10 numbers. So this is the way how the loop will execute. So now see the output. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. System.out.println. ln means after printing the 1, it will go and take a new line. If I am not using ln, if I am using system.out.print, what will happen? It won't take a new line. See the output. So after printing the output, it won't go to a new line. This is the difference between the print and println statement. Println will always take a new line. After printing the output, it will go into a new line. If I am using a print means no new line will be there. So I am using always println. I want to print the output, and again I want the cursor to go to a new line. So this is the way how the for executes. Now I want to print only even numbers from 1 to 10. I want to print only even numbers from inside the for. What I have to do? I have to write one if condition. What if I mod 2 equal to 0, then only I want to print an I value. Otherwise I don't want to print the I value. So the output will be, see here, run this program, and here the output is, I got only the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now what you will do is, try to print only the odd numbers. Only the odd numbers. Try it by yourself. Okay. Next, in the same way, if I want to print if I want to print the numbers from 10 to 1, what I have to do? I have to start from a 10 and till 1 I have to print. What I am doing here? Here I am decrementing the value. So minus. I should be 10 and I should be less than or equal to 1. Right. Should be less than or equal to, not less than, it should be greater than or equal to 1, then I minus. So this is the way how I have to use a decrement. I minus means, see here, 10, 9, I equal to I minus 1. I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. So now what you will do is, in the same program, try to print even numbers from 10 to 1. Not 1 to 10. Try to print the even numbers from 10 to 1, and also write a program to print on odd numbers from 10 to 1, so that you can practice the increment and decrement operators. The while. The next flow control is while. Same as for only, but the syntax was different. Here what we'll do, first the initialization will come, next we have to write while, and then condition. If this condition is true, then only it will enter into the loop. Otherwise it won't enter into the loop. So first we have to write our logic. At the end of our logic we have to write an increment or decrement statement. Then we have to close the while loop. The same for was, same for syntax only, but it's slight modification. Same like as for only. Initialization, while of condition, next we have to write our statements. After the statements we have to write our increment or decrement, then the loop will be closed. If this condition is true, then the statements will execute, then increment or decrement, again it will go up. This while loop will execute until the condition is failed. So the same example we will see through a while. So now I want to print 10 numbers using a while statement. Int I equal to 1. First step, what we have to do? We have to take an initialization. While of write a condition I less than or equal to 10 and open the loop. Here what I have to do? I have to print a system.out.println. I'm printing a value. What is that value? I. Next I have to increment the value. Same for program. I'm trying to print 1 to 10 numbers using a while. So run the program and check the output. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I want to print only the even numbers, what I have to do? Here I have to simply add an if statement. If I mod 2 equal to 0 means, then what I have to do? I have to print this, or else I have to skip that state. Run the program and see the output. I got only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if I want to print 10 to 1, what I have to do? So here I should be greater than or equal to 1 and I should start with a number 10, right? And system.out.println of I, and I have to decrement value. Now run the program. So this is the. Now what you have to do is try to write down a program which will print only odd numbers from 100 to 1. So listen carefully, try to print the odd numbers from 100 to 1 using while statement. Try to write down this program. To practice it. Flow control is do while. Do while syntax is first same as a while, here initialization, next we have to write a do keyword, then we have to start the loop, next we have to write a logic, then we have to write an increment or decrement, and we have to close this do loop, and end of the do we have to write a condition, while of condition. And remember this, after this while compulsory we have to give a semicolon, but for and while we should not give semicolon. Even for if else also we should not give a semicolon, but for this do while compulsory we have to give a semicolon, right? So what is the difference between a while and a do while? So while, this do while what will do? It will print the logic first, then it will check the condition. So the last it will check the condition. But what in the case of while? First initially it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then only the statements will execute. But in the case of do while, for the very first step, what it will do? It will print the statement, then it will check the condition. Means the do while will execute compulsory at least once, whereas while never. If the condition is true, then only the while loop will execute. But in the case of do while, the very most it will execute one time. At least, not at most, at least the do while will execute once. I'll show you the difference of while and do while in a program. So go to a program. Same, I'm printing here. See, I'm printing a 1 to 10 natural numbers using the do while. So first I'm taking I value as 1. Then I want to go for a do here. Next I'm writing a while. Here I'm writing what a condition. I should be greater than or equal to 10. And after this I have to give increment or decrement, right? So see here, if I am not writing a semicolon, if not, it was showing me as a compile time error, syntax error on token, semicolon expected after this token, it was showing me. So compulsory, after the while we have to give a semicolon. So let us see the output. what is the output here? 1. Means I should be greater than or equal to 10. 1 is greater than or equal to 10. So is 1 greater than or equal to 10? Condition was false. But I got the output. Why? Because first what it will do, and I equal to 1. It will enter into the do loop. I told you that the do while will execute at least once. So what will happen? System.out.println of I. What is the I value now? 1. It will print 1. I plus plus. I became 2. And then it will check the condition while. So here while 2 is greater than or equal to 10. No, right? It was condition false. So that's why it won't again go up and execute this do loop. So this is if the same I'll explain you using a while. Let us see. So what is the output here? In this case, do while. If the condition is failed also, we are getting an output like 1. So let me comment out this. And I'm writing a while. So how the while? Initialization. First we have to write an initialization. Next what we have to do? We have to write a while. While I greater than or equal to 10. So here what I'm doing? I'm just copying these statements and printing this. So I'm trying to print the value of I, and I'm incrementing this. So let us run the program and see the output. Did we get any output here in the case of while? No, because this condition is failed. So then these statements are not going to execute. If this condition is true, then only these statements will execute in the case of while. But in the case of do while, the very first time it will execute the statements, then it will check